The Galactic Council watches Earth burn again. This time, they don't interfere. They profit. But in the shadows of destruction, a human ship escapes the flames carrying a message not meant for survival, but revenge. Because Earth's not done. It's just started the hunt. Black Box Survivor Code, SS Argent Lance. Transmission status: damaged, active. If you're hearing this, you already know what you did. The feed was broken, not from age. From fire, Ashari Primes. Council Hall played it on loop. The delegates leaned in, smug, curious, cautious. The war was over. Earth was dead. They watched the recording like a trophy. Some even laughed, but High Chancellor Drell kept his eyes narrowed, because the voice wasn't scared. It was cold. We trusted you. You called us allies, then turned your fleets away while the Chindari rained fire on our cities. A flicker, then static, then a face half-burned human still alive, eyes too calm. You didn't betray a planet. You betrayed family. Drell whispered, cut the feed. His aide hesitated. Sir, now. Too late. The last line came through, clear as blood on glass. The war was just the start. Now we hunt you. In orbit, hidden by the ice rings of Circus 2, a lone human ship drifted silently. The Vengeance-class hunter, designation Red Halo. Crew 4. Mission, Retribution. Status: cloaked, charging. Captain Linya Arden stood at the center of the small bridge, eyes locked on a slowly rotating hologram of Ashari Prime. Transmission confirmed, her AI muttered. Linya didn't respond. She reached into a small metal box beneath her console and pulled out a strip of worn leather. It was scorched, tattered. A child's bracelet. She didn't cry. She tied it around her wrist like armor. Begin phase 1, she said. Target? She pointed to the star, Drell. Elsewhere on the galactic trade relay, merchants celebrated Earth's fall. Stock prices surged. Human systems were marked open for resource claims. Salvage fleets were already inbound. No. One noticed that 10 of those fleets never returned. Not destroyed. Just gone. Direl sat in his tower, sipping crystalline wine when his skin prickled. Not from fear, from memory. The last time he saw Earth's delegate, the woman had said one sentence before leaving the council chamber. You will see us again, but not with flags. He didn't understand it then. He did now. The lights in his chamber dimmed. The glass window fractured without pressure, and a single word appeared on his comms console, burned into the screen. Found? Back on the red halo, Linya's voice cracked the silence. He watched Earth die for money. Sold our defense plans for minerals. That wasn't war. She tightened her grip on the throttle. That was murder. Her crew didn't speak. They didn't need to. They'd all lost something. And this time, they weren't coming to plead. They were coming to erase. They didn't kill Earth. They just made sure we never stopped hunting. They used to call it diplomacy. Now it had another name. Profit. Ashari Prime skies were clean, perfect. A web of luxury towers hung above a planet-wide sea, its economy fed by interstellar trade and military contracts. None of it existed without Earth. None of it would have lasted without betrayal. Target lock, whispered Silas, the Red Halo's weapons tech. Tower Grid 19C external defense relay hub. Light shields. No military response yet. Good, Linya said. The Red Halo didn't cloak with invisibility. It cloaked with silence, not just a ship, a ghost. She tapped her neural uplink and leaned forward. Disable their shields? Permanently? Silas asked. Linya didn't blink. Remind them we remember. They didn't fire missiles. They didn't need to. The Red Halo's beam didn't explode on impact. It cut through matter like a monologue through a guilty conscience. No debris, no alarms. Just a missing tower and a broadcast echoing across. Every channel. This is for the cities you let burn. This is for every cry you never answered. This is just the first. Panic didn't break out immediately. The Ashari military didn't believe the hit came from humans. Glitch strike. One officer muttered, "Old mines, tech instability. Scan for cloaked dreadnoughts. This smells like the Chindari again." Only one person didn't speak. High Chancellor Drell. He stared at the single word that now appeared on every encrypted terminal across Ashari Prime's network. Hello. Back aboard the Red Halo, Engineer Kellen scrubbed recovered transmission logs pulled from the destroyed tower's backup relay. Her hands trembled as she decoded the data string, one that should have been buried. Linya entered. Kellen didn't look up. "You're going to want to hear this." Linya leaned in, and Kellen hit play. Archival transmission date, 2 weeks before Earth's fall. Sender, High Chancellor Driel. Recipient, Shindari Commander Zul Verax. You will find the Terran defense corridor vulnerable along Axis Zeta 4. Their alliance routes are strained. Strike within the solar quarter. Will delay response support. As agreed. Linya closed her eyes. It was worse than betrayal. It was premeditated. Silas muttered over comms, "You hear that?" Linya nodded. Slowly, "We're not hunting cowards," she said. "We're hunting conspirators." They didn't stop. Next strike, the communications uplink in orbit. Silent, automated. Gone in seconds. Then, the emergency defense beacon hub, knocked offline without a shot, just an override key Linya had memorized in another life. Everything. They dismantled, they used to build, and the message spread. Earth was never defenseless, just done asking. Meanwhile, the Ashari Senate called an emergency meeting. They wanted to flee. Shift their government to one of their outer colonies. Save what they could. "We didn't authorize this," one shouted. "We negotiated for stability." Another hissed, "We never meant for Earth to fall. It was strategy pressure." They weren't supposed to die. Drell sat silently. He knew. Better. They didn't die. They transformed. Flashback. Linya remembered the fire. The day the first Chindari missile shattered her city. She'd been at the academy gates. She saw her professor die shielding children with his own body. She saw drones ignore distress calls. She saw Ashari freighters orbiting above it, all just watching. She swore that day she wouldn't just survive, she'd testify with fire. On board. Red Halo. Kellen activated a hidden subroutine embedded deep in the Ashari Command Network 1. She'd written during her years as an embedded ally technician. The code was simple. It opened their archives. To everyone. Across the galaxy, files spilled out. Private meetings. Secret exchanges. Signed agreements. Let Earth burn. Stabilize markets. Keep the mining rights. One message even showed a high-ranking Terran ambassador shaking hands with Drell. Only hours before the bombing. The galaxy didn't gasp. It went quiet because they knew and did nothing. Back in Red Halo's war room, Silas asked the question nobody wanted to say, "So what happens?" After Drell? Linya didn't hesitate. "We don't stop at him." She pulled up the next name on the screen. Ambassador Merrick's of Tryon signed the non-interference accord. While our colonies begged, Rawl, their ex-intel officer, spoke for the first time. "We're not hunting traitors," he said. "We're correcting history." On Ashari Prime, Drell stepped into his private vault, a place no scanners could see. He opened the drawer where he once kept Earth's diplomatic patch. He used to keep it as a reminder of control, of manipulation. Now it felt radioactive. He dropped it, and it burned straight through the floor. The Red Halo. Didn't celebrate. There were no speeches. No ceremonies. Just one more enemy marked. One more lie exposed. And the slow, steady turning of stars as humanity rewrote its place among them. Because now, when Earth arrived, they didn't ask for recognition. They gave you one chance. Remember what you did. Or be erased by the ones who never forgot. You didn't betray Earth. You betrayed the wrong species to forget. Tryon was a fortress masquerading as a neutral world. Beneath its golden skyscrapers and polished glass domes lay kilometers of sublayers, storage banks, Senate bunkers, vaults, and panic rooms designed for one purpose: to survive betrayal. Because the people who built it were the same kind who wrote the playbook on watching allies burn while pretending to help. Red Halo drifted in low orbit, masked by Tryon's own solar flares. Captain Linya Arden stood silent, eyes fixed on the holographic cityscape rotating above the war table. "Where's his pulse?" she asked. Kellen didn't look up. 32 floors below Core Sector 9. Bunker Sigma, no uplink, no entrance. Logs for 6 years. Not even Tryon's defense AI can see it anymore. Then how do we? Kellen tapped the edge of her neural pad. Because his assistant used to be my handler, and she saved everything. Ambassador Merrick's paced inside. Bunker Sigma, sweat collecting along the ridges of his temple. The lighting was soft, filtered. The air was clean, perfect, but his hands shook. He'd seen the Red Halo feeds. He'd read the decrypted Ashari transmissions. He knew Earth was supposed to die, not survive. Not respond. His comlink flickered. Unknown origin. You're next. He threw the device across the room. It shattered. And began to ring again through the broken speaker. You don't get to hide. You don't get to explain. The Red Halo's drop pod cracked atmosphere at terminal velocity. It wasn't stealth. It was confidence. Linya descended with Raul and Silas, cutting through the Trionian skyline like a blade through memory. They landed on an empty roof, clean as a museum floor. Entry point? Raul asked. 7 levels down. Kellen replied over comms. Cut the power grid at node Zeta. That'll blind everything from orbit to sublevel 30. Got it. And Linya? Yeah? Make him hear you. Merrick's tried to call for help, tried to reroute through his off-grid channels. No signal went out. He slammed a red button marked Emergency Diplomatic Protocol. A soft beep answered. Protocol revoked. You are no longer recognized as a Union asset. He blinked. Then laughed. Short. Hysterical. So this was how it ended. Not with a trial, but with a return, 7 floors up. Linya cut through the bunker's interior like a surgeon through scar tissue. No wasted motion. No hesitation. No mercy. Silas disabled auto-defense drones with reverse-engineered Earth algorithms, ones Merrick's helped leak to Earth's enemies centuries ago. Raul held the rear. Quiet. Focused. Deadly. They reached level 31. Then the elevator jammed. Kellen's voice clicked in their ears. He's locking the core manually. You've got 5 minutes before he fries the black box. Linya smiled coldly. Then we're early. Inside the bunker, Merrick's poured himself a drink with shaking fingers. Old Earth whiskey. Stolen. Saved. For his retirement. He stared into it. He didn't see fire. He saw what came after. The silence. The stillness. The absence. He whispered. They weren't supposed to survive. Linya's fist hit the final door. Hard. No announcement. No warning. Just impact. And then her voice. Merrick's. You always said Earth was too soft. A beat. Let's see how hard you scream. The door creaked. Not from her strength. From his fear. Tried to run. Where? The walls knew his heartbeat. Every defense grid had been bypassed with his own codes. He opened the last vault. Inside. A panic pod. Sealed. He climbed in. Breath. Ragged. Sealed the hatch. Safe. He closed his eyes. Then a voice whispered from the speaker behind his head, "We built this pod, Marix." The hatch exploded inward. Linya reached down, pulled him out by the collar like trash. He kicked, cursed, pleaded. Raul stood silent. Silas raised his weapon. But Linya didn't shoot. Not yet. She placed him on his knees and opened a HOLO. It played. The clip, the one she'd found in Kellen's recovered files. Strike during the resource drought. Earth won't hold. We'll blame the Chindari. We get the colonies. Everyone wins. Marix looked up. Please. We didn't mean for it to go that far, Linya interrupted. We begged for help. I didn't know, she crouched, nose to nose. You didn't care. She stood. Erase him. The screen flashed red as Kellen activated the system. Not to kill. To wipe. Every trace of Marix's voice. His files, his deals deleted, across Tryon. The feeds updated in real time. Ambassador Marix status. Voided, then silence. Not from absence. From justice. Real exhaled. 2 down. Silas asked, "What about the third?" Kellen's voice cracked in. "I just traced a new signature. Chindari territory." Name came up in the last batch of Ashari logs. Linya raised a brow. "Who?" "Kellen." Paused. Then said it like a knife. "General Verax. The one who pushed the button." Linya stood on the edge of the landing pad. Wind rushed around her. Ashes of memory. She tightened the child's bracelet on her wrist. "Next planet," she said. Roll and Silas stepped beside her. Kellen's voice echoed from the ship. "Let's end the architects this time. You don't get to beg after you profit from the funeral." Chandari space was like a knife's edge, dipped in acid. Sharp, burning, always bleeding someone. Their warships didn't fly, they prowled. Spined hulls, organic plating, weapon arrays that pulsed like heartbeats, entire fleets that looked like bone, the kind of civilization that never apologized, only threatened to forget you ever existed. "Status?" Linya asked, Kellen's voice cracked over the coms, strained by gravitational interference. "Chindari borders heavier than expected. They've upgraded tri-layer sentries with cloak sweepers. We've got about 6 minutes of blind spot before they lock us." "Plenty," Linya said. Silas smirked. "Can't believe Verax's command ship still runs on human core coils." "That's the irony," Roll said. "He killed us with our own tech. Now we'll bury him with it." The red halo pushed through the seam between 2 gas giants, slingshotting into a low-orbit path that masked their approach. Below them, the Chindari dreadhold, a black citadel suspended over a dying red star. That was Verax's sanctuary. Untouchable. Unbreakable. Until now, inside the dreadhold, General Verax feasted. Not on food. On memory. Trophies of Earth lined his hall. Broken helmets, Terran steel fragments, even a melted civilian evacuation sign. He paced beneath them, claws clicking against glass flooring, voice booming in private. Dictation. Let the galaxy shudder. When they remember the silence of Earth, let them understand what happens when you think peace is anything but surrender. His aides bowed. His soldiers watched. No one knew the red halo had already breached his lower decks. Linya moved like shadow, made flesh. She didn't knock. She didn't shout. She moved through corridors like vengeance threaded through steel. Kellen whispered in her ear, "I found something. You're not going to like it. Try me. I'm in their archive vault now. Verax didn't just lead the Earth assault." "Yeah, we know. No, Linya. He filmed it." Raul reached the upper-level floor 65 near Verax's private comms chamber. He plugged in a bypass drive. His hands didn't shake, but his voice cracked. He sold the footage. Galnet snuff reels. He monetized our genocide. Silas cursed. Kellen added, I have 37 terabytes of human agony. Some of these weren't even public cities. They hit orphan colonies. Linya stopped cold. There was no wind. No alarms. Just stillness. Play 1. A child screamed. Then another. Then silence. The audio wasn't enhanced. It didn't need to be. There's a tone people make when they know no one's coming. It was that. Linya stared at the feed. A ship overhead. Chindari insignia clear as blood. Fire raining. People running. And in the background, a woman coughing, holding a baby screaming. Through a comms unit. We surrendered. Please, we surrendered. Cut to black. In the Dreadhold throne room. Verax's meal paused mid-air as a screech tore through the private alert system. He stood. Snarled. Double quotes. No one enters my hold. But the doors opened. And Linya stepped in. Verax grinned. You smell like ash? Linya didn't blink. You smell like guilt. He stepped forward. Towering. Reptilian. Clawed. You came here for vengeance? You want revenge for your dead planet? She tossed a holocrystal at his feet. It lit the entire hall with projections of the massacres, his massacres uncut. Time-stamped, unedited. And behind her, Raul and Silas entered. Guns out. Eyes cold. Verax looked around, then laughed. You? Came for justice? There is no law here. Linya nodded. Exactly. She raised her pistol. Only memory. Verax lunged. Fast. Too fast. Claws tore across the steel floor, but Linya was faster. She rolled beneath him, pulled the plasma blade from her hip, and cut deep right through his command node. He staggered. Humans don't survive here. Looked him dead in the eyes. We didn't survive. She activated the blade again. We evolved. And then she buried it in his throat. The hall went quiet. Kellen's voice whispered through the comms. I just leaked the massacre files to the entire galaxy. Silas looked up. Reactions? Riots. Protests. Half of the Tryon Council just resigned. Ashari Prime's media centers are melting down. Raul walked to Verax's massive command throne. Set in it. Turned to Linya. What now? She stared at Verax's corpse. At the tapes. The evidence. And the stars burning beyond the hall. Now we stop hiding. Hours later, back aboard the Red Halo, they watched the feeds. Galactic broadcast. Sionfi Aramidi. The Earth massacre was orchestrated by Chindari High Command with diplomatic coordination from Ashari and Tryon representatives. All surviving Terran war records validated. Compensation demands pending. Silas blinked. Compensation? Kellen shrugged. They think they can pay us off. Raul laughed once hard. They still don't get it. Linya turned from the screen. Voice cold, clear. We're not looking for forgiveness. She pulled up the next target. We're looking for everyone who knew and said nothing. You didn't erase us. You just gave us reason to remember. Everything. The transmission didn't come through military bands. Not political channels. Either. It arrived through children's shows, through food delivery drones, through galactic maps. Everywhere. Every screen, every wall, every species. And all it showed was this: Captain Linya Arden standing on a platform of broken glass. Wreckage behind her. Verax's insignia crushed beneath her boot. Her voice was quiet, but no one missed a word. You watched Earth burn. You shook our hands with one, sold our locations with the other. You didn't make a mistake. You made a decision. We're making one now, too. Across the galaxy, stations froze. Traffic halted. A million leaders leaned forward. And then she said it. We're not here for reparations. We're not here for recognition. We're not here to rejoin. We are the record. A feed began. Not edited. Not staged. Just truth. Earth's final days. Burning colonies. Empty evacuation corridors. Children alone in bunkers. Then red halos strikes. Merrick's in chains. Ashari towers collapsing. Varax's final scream, then silence. Just the hum of the stars. The last image was the red halo drifting above. Earth's ruins. Not for vengeance, but for proof that we came back, that we remembered, and we were watching now. This is the only broadcast you get. If your name is on the list, you already know. We're coming. Then the screen cut to black. Except for one line in Terran Standard. This was never a war. This was the audit. On Ashari Prime, Chancellor Drell stared at the darkened console. His hands didn't move. His lips didn't speak. His mind raced. He turned to his aide. What does it mean? The aide whispered, it means we're not the top of the food chain anymore. On Tryon, the new ambassador, a trembling young official just elected to clean up the old regime's blood, asked, should we contact them? Negotiate? His staff shook their heads. They're not here to talk. Even in Chindari space, Virax's former generals began to flee, some to exile worlds, some to bunkers. Some tried to destroy their records, but the red halo already had them. All of them. It wasn't a fleet anymore. It was memory-made motion. Back on Earth, beneath the remains of the Global Forum Tower, a small garden grew, nurtured by machines. Seated in ash. Captain Linya sat in silence, watching it bloom. Rull approached. They think we're monsters now. She didn't look at him. They thought we were victims first. Then fossils, then myths. She stood. Let them call us what they want. It's not for them anymore. Kellen piped in over comms. Got a new signal ping. It's a Terran name. Ex-council member. Exile world. Thought dead. Wants to meet. Silas. Raised a brow. Another traitor? Kellen paused. Or maybe someone finally willing to talk before we get to them. Linya nodded. Either way, they're next. And so Red Halo launched again. Not as a fleet. Not as an army. As a verdict in motion. Humanity. No longer asked. No longer begged. It listened. It remembered. And now, it judged. You called it a war. We call it the beginning of your sentencing. The end.